Jai Shri Ram. Christian conversion has been a threat plaguing Hindu society for centuries. However, as we are all aware of, this issue has gotten far worse over the past several decades. Most of the Northeast, not including Assam, has been Christianized, as have significant numbers of tribals, Dalits, and even people from other caste backgrounds all over India, especially in the South. When discussing this issue, most Hindus like to raise points about how people are being lured into conversion through offers of money, jobs, school admissions for their children, free access to medical care, and so on, with, of course, the most notable offer of giving away free grain, hence the term rice bag. While these points raised by people on our side are true, there's countless examples of all of those that we can find. Our side is really missing the much larger point. Being grounded in dharma, it may seem obvious to us that such tactics are unethical, but that's entirely the issue. It is because of the fact that we are dharmic that we can see something wrong in this kind of behavior. Abrahamic religions are adharmic. They stand in complete opposition to many of the traits of dharma, like a respect for native forms of religion, diversity in religious doctrines, spiritual progress not being determined by the specific supernatural beliefs that you hold, and so on. So the idea that we should expect adharmis to uphold some sense of dharma is totally unreasonable. Proclaiming that the Christians should only use tactics that we would deem to be fair play would be like asking a wolf to only hunt its prey under a certain set of previously agreed upon rules, which is to say it's a fool's errand. And anyone who does so or hopes that this would be the case is a fool, because they have not understood the nature of Christianity or its equally predatory Abrahamic cousin, Islam. What we should instead focus on is this. We have a significant population within our own Hindu community who care so little about their identity and spiritual tradition that they are willing to sell it for the price of some cheap enticements. This is the fundamental issue. We can't keep shouting to people who already agree with us on this issue that Christian conversion is predatory and our society is so great and so on, when crores and crores of our own people are willing to get baptized and step on photos of Hindu gods for the price of a bag of basmati rice. While we recognize that Hinduism as a religion is the greatest spiritual tradition of all time and innately superior to Abrahamism, we have to equally recognize that Hindu society is quite weak and fractured, and suffers from some severe endemic problems. Most importantly of these problems for the purposes of this video is the fact that we have a large proportion of our own people who are interested in converting to Christianity, like I just mentioned, as a business transaction in order to better themselves financially. So once that is clearly understood to be the issue that we face, the next question is, what can we do about it? Now, I hear a lot from Hindu circles that they want to pass these anti-conversion bills, that new laws are the answer to the problem. Well, I'm sure that such laws would have some small effect. I think that they would end up being just a drop in the bucket for this reason. Such laws can't ban individual people or families from converting. It can only ban certain tactics and practices, which in and of themselves are already very difficult to pin down. Here's what I mean. When these enticements are given, and I'm assuming there's no contracts drawn up for this, right, with legal language saying if you convert, then you will receive X. That's not what's happening from, basically what I understand, and also just common sense. But rather, there are off-the-record promises that are made, hints are dropped, and so on, so that when you don't have a paper trail to work with, while they do have plausible deniability, you're not going to be able to get convictions. How are you going to get convictions regardless of what kind of a law that you pass, right? Second problem with this law argument, is that people may convert with the expectation of certain financial benefits without actually receiving promises. For example, let's say a guy sees two men around his same age in his village convert to Christianity, and then they end up getting, or immediately after that, they get jobs as pastors in that community or surrounding communities, and these pastor jobs pay them twice as much as whatever they were earning as a laborer of some kind, right off the bat. Now, if this third person, like the observer in this situation, if this third person converts because he expects the same thing, there's no prosecutable offense that occurred there. No matter how strict the legislation that you pass is, he just perceived that this is what's happening, and so the way for, career advancement or whatever is to convert, but no one even told him anything. So again, no law is broken there. Or in an even more indirect example, if someone is able to take advantage of some schooling, medical care, or other facilities provided by a church organization and they convert because they feel some sense of gratitude or indebtedness to Christian society or that particular church, there is again no crime that has taken place there. We have to understand that laws in the modern world don't uphold dharma or any kind of other principle. They are just enforced as written. It is always, always, always the letter of the law that is enforced, not the spirit of the law. The spirit of the law is only relevant in these long essays of legalese that judges who dissent from some opinion that passed will write in their dissent, or it's important in the legislative debates and discussions that happen before a bill is passed. But at the actual ground level of the legal system, arresting people, prosecuting people, that is purely the letter of the law. And like I keep saying, there's no way to really write up these laws where they will be so strict to actually take care of all of these problems, because all of this is enticement. Whether someone tells you, I will give you X amount of money to convert to Christianity, or the churches spend X amount of money on some kind of social programs which poor people that have no options take advantage of, and then those people feel like Christianity has somehow benefited them through these kinds of handouts that they then convert. This is literally exactly the same thing that's going on. And the reason that I'm saying that is the church is putting money into getting converts. That's the whole point, regardless of how that exactly happens. Because here's the other problem that we face, which I'm sure that many of you in your conversations with other Hindus have come across people like this, that they will say, oh, well, if I was a poor, downtrodden, this or that, then, and they gave me this, then I would convert to, and all of this other nonsense, where they're really missing the larger principle, which is that churches are translating money into converts. How directly that happens, whether that goes in the form of cash or grain or a job or medical care for some, your loved one who is about to die or something like that. All of that is essentially the same thing. And we really need to get this kind of an idea through the heads of people, because Hindus have this kind of disease, or not Hindus, a large proportion of Hindus have this kind of mental block where they feel like charity work or, dan is somehow that is a kind of a pure thing, even when people who are trying to convert you are doing it, where in reality all of this is just multiple arms of the same octopus, so to speak. Literally, it doesn't matter how indirect it seems. It doesn't matter how much it seems like you can just take advantage of those services without having to convert and so on. All of it, the entire apparatus is engineered towards gaining converts. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Jai Shri Ram.